Do you have a question for me? Well, I probably have an answer because I'm pretty opinionated. But if you want to ask me the question, you can leave me a voicemail at 818-949-8536, and I might just answer your question on the show. Again, that is 818-949-8536.
Like all of a sudden, the fog starts to clear of running this corporation of a family. It really is like your friend comes through the fog, and you're like, oh, hey.
Yeah.
Hey, holy shit. That was a weird 18 years.
I remember you.
Yeah, like, hey.
LeeAnn, this is your podcast. How do you kick it off?
I know.
Can I kick it off?
Have you ever...
And say, do you realize how frustrating it is to be married to a woman who, for real, fucking nonstop out loud laughed on planes everywhere reading this goddamn book?
It made me so happy.
You're so fucking good, man.
It made
You're
me so happy.
fucking good.
I love when you said it too, because you're like, this is so Bert. He was just like, I just love when promos just happen naturally.
She's crying, laughing on a goddamn plane. I go, what the fuck are you reading? She goes, Tom Papa. He is hilarious.
I know. I was just in like the bookstore in the airport.
Yeah.
And I was
nice.
oh, there's Tom's book. I'm going to buy it.
See?
Because I want some kind of light reading. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want anything heavy.
Yeah.
I've been reading a lot of self-help lately. And I was crying on the plane. And so I've actually purposefully not finished it because I don't want it to be over.
Wow. Come on.
I keep like
this means so much.
reading a little
I did the
bit.
same with Matt Rife special.
Yeah. You're hanging on to the last 10 minutes.
I want something to enjoy.
I have loved this book so much. It's been so fun to read.
Oh, it's amazing. Well, I don't want to tease it out, but there's 2 other books.
No way.
Yeah.
Yes. Before this book, right?
Yeah.
One before?
Is this one better than the other ones?
2 before.
2 before.
I don't know. It's hard to say.
They're different.
They're different?
Yeah.
How are they different?
Why don't you explain?
You say it. I can't say it. It's my own work.
Well, they're all essays, but it's kind of takes a different tone. I feel like all 3 of them take a different tone.
Yeah.
And you go in a little bit of a different direction in different parts of your life.
Mm-hmm.
It takes you on a little bit of a different journey, I think.
You like the one before that. You like the middle one because it was a little homage to you.
Well, yeah.
It was dedicated to you.
The second book, yes.
It was?
That feels like that was my book. There were essays in there that felt like love letters to me because there are things in that nobody else would really know how deep and meaningful or true some of it was except for me. So
I love
that one was really special.
You're doing great. That was yours.
I love that. You're doing great. That's the name. Okay, well,
the next one I'm going to dedicate to you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
As you should.
I'm sorry,
Tears
Bert.
and laughter on an airplane.
That is amazing. No, but honestly, all kidding aside, whenever those things happen, when I hear of somebody, because it's not like stand-up. It's like your book is it's just out there. When people tell me stories about them crying or giving it to their mom and she was crying reading this thing, or people come up after shows and it's like dog-eared, like they really mean something to them. I had this one 16-year-old girl was using one of the essays as a monologue to get into school.
No.
Like that's like the most meaningful stuff.
What an amazing compliment.
Yeah. So
there have been so many people, I feel like, who have given your books to a loved one who was going through something like in the hospital or whatever. And they said, that's what got me through.
I could see
And
why.
I think that's so, I mean, there's always a lot of compliments with stand-up, but there's something about the book.
Yeah.
And knowing that really got somebody, that's amazing.
What to me about the book is that
being able to make hospice
fun.
Putting
the fun in hospice.
That's why I do it, really.
Entertainment in hospice.
I'm the hospice comedian.
Putting the ha-ha in hospice.
But I can't see that far, Christine.
She's saying to introduce Cynthia.
To what?
Introduce.
Oh, yeah.
Who we're talking to.
I don't ever do that for
Who's
my
laughing
podcast.
too loud in this mic?
Mr. and Mrs. Papa?
Mrs. Papa. That's my mama.
How long have you guys been married?
This is Cynthia.
Hi, Cynthia Koury-Papa, actually.
Koury-Papa.
And the only time I ever really hear Mrs. Papa is when I'm teaching. And little kids call me Mrs. Papa. And I think it's the cutest, funniest thing.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you teach?
I teach 5th grade.
You do?
I do.
What subject, or is there a subject?
Humanities. So language arts, social studies.
Do you like
Right now I'm doing a play with the kids.
That's cool.
About Earth Day.
She started as a comic, though. We met as comedians.
Yeah.
You were a comic?
Yes.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Wait, you related to is your maiden name Koury?
Yes.
You related to Rebecca Koury?
No.
Do you remember Rebecca Koury?
I do remember Rebecca Koury, but I'm not related to Rebecca Koury. Yeah.
I don't know Rebecca.
Oh, she was on Last Comic Standing. She's a big Pitbull advocate. She was also the warm-up when I was on
I thought you meant the singer.
Pit Rescue.
Pitbull.
You meant Pitbull, the singer?
Yeah.
She's a big fan of Pitbull.
Advocating what?
Everywhere she goes, she's talking about Pitbull getting the party started.
Are you advocating his outfit? I don't understand. Pitbull dogs.
Yeah. She still does a lot of work for them. I think she still does at Gotham and every year and everything. Yeah, she still raises a lot of money for Pitbull rescue and awareness. No, but there was another Cynthia Koury that was a singer, dancer, actress. And when I used to audition as an actress, I don't really sing. And she was apparently an amazing singer. And there was 2 different auditions that I went into that they said, oh my God, we saw you at Lincoln Center and you were amazing. You're singing. Wow. I just would go with it. I'd be like, yeah, that was great. Yeah, we don't have to do the singing portion then, right?
I'm opening for Pitbull
move right
tomorrow.
on. Yeah, Pitbull. And the
Lincoln
hospice
Center.
crew.
Dream come true.
Did y'all meet in the clubs?
Yes.
Comic strip.
Did not like me.
They didn't like you? They never passed you?
Lucian told me in that little phone booth.
Yeah, that little
he told
side
me
closet.
I would give up if I were you. I would move back to Florida.
He did
What?
not.
Totally did.
I would give up.
Yeah, I'd give up if I were you. You don't have it. You're not going to do it. You're not going to work here.
Lucian may have been mistaken.
Whoa.
No, Lucian. But look, you need
He did that
in
to
your
a
life.
lot of great people, though.
You need that in your life.
Yeah,
if you don't get a
100%.
couple of those, what do you like?
Yeah.
I mean, you need. I don't trust someone that didn't get that a couple of times.
Yeah.
Because you need the bark. You got to be like, I'm my advocate.
100%.
I can do it.
It's a test of how badly you want it.
Yeah. So wait, did you get past to the comic strip?
Yes. Yes.
Where are you from, Cynthia? Where'd you grow up?
So well, that's actually a story. We both grew up in the same hometown, but never met.
You're kidding.
Yeah.
Which is what?
So
Park Ridge, New Jersey.
Yes.
Oh, gotcha.
And so in the city, we met. There was one night, Lucian actually told me there's a sketch group and they need a female, character actor. And you got to go meet Tom Papa. And I had never heard of Tom Papa. And I went into the comic strip and I went to meet him. And I swear something, when people talk about something happened. There was like some kind of electricity. Something happened.
We were standing with Ian Bagg.
Yeah.
And she came up and introduced herself and was like, I'm going to get in the sketch group. And we just had the conversation and she walked away and Ian goes, what the hell was that? What happened between the two of you? Like that third party was just like, what the?
That's amazing.
Yeah. But it was
great.
And then I was backstage in that little tiny booth, like backstage, and I was waiting to go on and Tom came over and he started talking to me and he said, where are you from? I said, oh, you'll never hear of it. It was just a little town in New Jersey. He goes, no, where are you from? Where are you from? And I said, Park Ridge. And he said, really? Did you have Miss Conway for kindergarten? And this is before you could look anybody up, with the phones or anything. And I was like, what? Yes. And it turns out that we had the same kindergarten teacher, but he moved away in third grade. We were like a year apart. And then we had the same summer job, but I worked nights, he worked days. We went to some of the same high school parties. We went to all the same places as kids, never met until the comic strip. And actually, Lucian is the reason why we met. So for the bad news for you, it was actually good news for us.
We said we were going to get married. And Lucian said, you'll never make it.
Just move to Florida.
One of you go to Florida.
Crazy story.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
How long ago was that?
24 years ago.
Hold on.
26 years ago.
So what year is this? 97?
We got married in 2000. So
yeah, 98. Well, I guess 98 we started going out, but we were friends for a while. 96, 97.
Yeah.
I moved to New York in 97. Tried to get past the 97. Yeah. God, that's crazy.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
It goes fast.
So when did you stop doing stand-up? Why did you stop doing stand-up?
I stopped doing stand-up when I had my kids because I had this fantasy that I'd be able to write during the day when they take a nap and then put them down and then go out and do a show. And at the time I was working, at the Cellar till 2:30 in the morning. And I don't know what, I don't know. So I started getting on stage less and less and then felt like that muscle wasn't, in shape as much. And I felt like, okay, so if I get on once every 3 weeks right now, it just wasn't as sharp, and it wasn't as fun for me to just kind of be okay when I used to be so sharp. And I was, even when I worked the comic strip, a lot of times they would put me up late night. I'd be the only woman on the show for maybe sometimes all 3 shows that night. And, I was really battling it out, and I got really good and really tough. And a lot of times I worked dirty, and then all of a sudden it all just sort of changed when I had the babies, and then he started traveling more. And we moved and everything else. And it didn't feel the same to me as it did. So once in a while I'd get up and I would do your radio shows and everything else. And I'd like to go. I'd like to get back one of these days.
If we had stayed in New York, you probably would have.
It would have been easier. It definitely would have been easier.
But we came to LA, and then it's like, she knew, she was past at the Cellar and Gotham and Strip and all, she could do whatever. And then you're out here like as a mom to go like, ask some 20-year-old, can you get on their coffee shop show? You know what I mean? Like,
slightly different?
Yeah. Like when we went back to New York for the marriage rep, you jumped on stage again.
That's true. I started doing some.
Yeah.
For a bit.
Do you feel like there's a part of you that feels like I'm bad at questions, so I draw an analogy to me so that you can understand what I'm trying to say? So like, I never hit a home run in high school. I never hit a home run in high school. I hit it when younger I did, but not in high school. At 50 years old, I went back to my high school. I took batting practice with the team, and I hit a home run. I'm bigger. I'm stronger. I'm a larger mass dude, but I hit a home run in batting practice. Do you feel that way about your stand-up? Like now that you've lived a life, not saying you didn't live a life when you were talking about stuff on stage.
Right.
Now that you've lived this authentic life, is there a part of you that goes, you know what? The kids are out of the house. What if all of a sudden I'm hitting dingers and I'm relating in a way like Leanne Morgan or like these older women? No disrespect to Leanne, I'm just saying like she's amazing.
Yeah,
but like all of a sudden she has a fan base that's like that's not. It was never like when we all started. That fan base wasn't around.
Right.
No older church going group of white women came out to go see comedy shows. Do you feel like there's a part of you that maybe could start hitting dingers?
Absolutely. I write bits in my head all the time. I'm like, why am I not writing these down? Because
if she says them out loud, I steal them.
Yeah.
Smart man.
Welcome to my career.
Yeah. I'm often his muse, so that happens as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, absolutely.
You're an empty nester now, right?
I am an empty nester now.
So you could totally do it.
We could totally. I just had this little wave before, like as we were setting up, we had a lot of tech stuff to do, and I was like, inside, I'm always like, we got to get back for the girls. And I'm like, we could stay here till midnight if we wanted to. Like that has shifted.
Is it weird?
Yeah.
I feel like it hasn't completely shifted for me because we have all these pets. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'm always getting back for the dogs.
Oh, yeah. I don't think about that.
I'm always getting back for the dogs.
You don't think about it?
Yeah, no, he doesn't think about it the same way. It's like there's only a certain amount of time you can leave the house. So I thought that as soon as they left, oh, sure, yeah, exactly. You could be home at midnight or whatever. No, I'm always getting back for the dogs.
Biggest change is you could just walk around. You don't have to put pants on. Like if you forget something down the hall, you could just walk down the hall. Like that's like, but they call all the time, and one daughter's coming back for like 4 months for the summer.
Right.
It's like, it's not over, but it is a shift. It's definitely this mile marker that you can't deny. Like you could always kind of lie to yourself about how old you are or what's going on. But when someone asks, are the kids gone? You're like, yeah, we're there now. It's a big shift for sure.
It's not over, but part of it is over. And that's what was so devastating to me.
Yeah.
Because so much of my life was dedicated to them and their school and their activities and their things and their friends and the energy that comes in and out of the house when they're there.
Yeah.
And then when that's gone, you lose your children, you lose the friends, you lose that energy.
Yeah.
And then, when you're traveling and it's a whole shift. And that part of the even if they come back and they live with you, and even if they do things, she's going to come back for 4 months. It's different. It's different.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
That chapter's done.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go around the room and say things we miss about being parents. I'll start.
Well, we have one.
Well, you're still there, right?
She's a senior in high school.
She's dead to us.
She's graduating in June.
No, I'll tell you what I missed the most.
She's graduating high school in June, right?
She's graduating high school in June. We have sophomore in college. She's already going. We know where she's going. We just went to accepted student stay this past weekend.
Going to Harvard.
Right.
She's ready to go. But I'm already seeing what you're talking about, like the absence of activity in the house.
Yes.
So the house feels so empty already, and she's still there.
Yeah.
So it's just me and her most of the time.
Yeah.
And her older sister was the much more like bring the friends home girl. Isla is go out to friends girl. So I'm often home alone, like. Yeah. I mean, echo. I feel like there's nothing in the house. Yeah. It is heaven for a minute.
Yeah.
And then after a little bit, because I'm like you, I'm by myself.
Yeah.
Right.
But when I'm by myself for like day 5, day 6, day 7, you start going, who can I call? What kind of trouble can I get into? Because this is not working for me.
Well, that's why we're here. We're not that far from you all. And
that's true.
We should hang out.
Day 5.
Totally. We should, because they still. What was your go around the room and say what?
What do we miss?
I miss.
Oh, that's right.
Drop off.
You do?
I hated it when I did it. Hungover.
You mean elementary school drop off?
Elementary school drop off.
Yeah.
All drop off. All drop off. That was so fun. So fun to go to the school, sit in line, see the other parents. Everyone's in the same.
Yeah.
Some dude's like, hey, you see the kindergarten moms? And I'm like, what? Yeah. Like, I miss those days. I miss that so much. Miss pickup and drop off.
It is a tie to the community. It's a big, like, you don't hang with that guy who's saying, you see the kindergarten moms, but they are part of your world for 12 years.
12 years. And it's you know them.
Yeah.
And in a weird way, you see them at the grocery store.
Right.
And you're really tethered to a community. I miss that.
Yeah.
Once your kids are out, you're all of a sudden it's like when you said miss the friends, it's true. It's like there's a time where all the kids are the same age and they're all, hey, what are you guys doing Saturday? Let's bring the kids out of the house. We'll go swimming.
Yeah.
And it's so fucking great.
Yeah. I had a pang today because I went to meet Flanny from Largo for lunch.
Yeah.
And so we were back in our old neighborhood. You know, we're very similar to you guys. We had the same house, essentially. We were like a mile from each other. And I had a pang today of missing the small first house when everybody's tiny, just running through, because it does shift.
Yeah,
it was a sweet neighborhood with all young kids running around.
Yeah.
Same. We had the same experience. Sweet neighborhood. We had trick-or-treating at Halloween.
Right, amazing.
4th of July parade. And everybody.
Exactly.
Halloween, we would go in the street. Moms and dads would have a backpack of wine, and the kids would just go.
Right.
And my mother-in-law, one year, we were in Australia for Halloween, and my mother-in-law came and trick-or-treated with the girls, and she was like, this is the most amazing neighborhood.
Yeah.
Every third person knew your children.
Yeah.
So you felt like really safe. They could just run the streets because inevitably they'd be in someone's yard they knew.
Yeah.
It was people don't think LA's like that.
We had the same exact thing. And people just walk in and just like grab some chili.
Yeah.
We're like, who's the you kind of knew him or you didn't know him, but he was just like, yeah.
Which house was this? Was this the house with the great trees in the backyard?
Yeah. Remember the yellow house?
I love that fucking house.
Yeah. It was the same as your house. It was
that's the crazy thing. Weird story. Brian Regan comes over to our house, do a podcast. I don't think he really knows what podcasts are at the time.
Yeah.
Really, honestly. And he comes in, I take him to my old house. You remember my old house?
Yeah.
And I'm being super honest. I was embarrassed because it's a smaller house. You see a guy like Brian Regan, you're like, idolize the guy.
Yeah.
Just so you knew, it's a 2-bedroom, 1-bath house.
Okay.
It was and then it had a back. It had a back house man cave.
A man cave. I got a man cave that was built by the TV show Man Caves.
Nice.
Which, by the way, that made it like Beverly Hills compared to our house. Just that you had that extra little house out there.
We had that plastic tree house you could use.
But they had the same pool like off the back.
That's so funny.
It was. And I said to Brian in a moment of shallow ego, I said, we're going to buy a big house. Like, I wish I don't regret saying it because Brian Regan goes, don't. I said, what? And he goes, this is what a family should sound like. I said, what? And Brian, I apologize if I'm telling secrets out of school, but Brian said, you know what? I bought the big house. I bought the big house. And I got divorced and the kids went into different rooms and it was, and he goes, This is what a house should sound like. It should smell like. It should feel like. This is what family feels like.
Wow.
We walked back to the house after the podcast. Georgia comes out and goes, Mom, Isla kicked me in the vagina. And Brian Regan looks at me and goes, this is a fucking house.
He's right, though. He's so right.
He is right. You know, in some regard, though, we would have been sharing a bathroom with our 18-year-old daughter.
For that time.
Oh, it was heaven.
In elementary school?
But we were outgrowing it. Like, there was definitely, like, someone might have died. Someone might have killed someone.
Totally. We had 2 human adult-sized dogs and 4 adult-sized people. And we were like, we're going to kill each other. Felt the same way. It was just too much in such a small space.
So I'm so sorry that I'm involved in this podcast.
Okay. I'm actually really glad
I'm so happy
because
you're here.
I feel like
on the way over, I had a bit in my head. I had a bit in my head of whenever the 3 of us were talking, I would just go, "Where's Bert?"
Were you afraid we'd pick on you?
Yeah. Oh, I thought I might have been in trouble.
But I feel like we're same, right?
Yeah.
It's nice to see same.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I think collectively we're all the same.
Yes.
I mean, I think we all have artistic minds, and what I noticed in the 2 of you is you guys gave up your artistic vision to raise a family, which is a big thing with her. When we got pregnant, she was writing. She had a script in development, and she got pregnant. She said, "No, I'm going to be a mom." Her mom wasn't around. Her mom focused on her career, and she said, "I'm going to focus on my girls," and did all the shit that she never got as a kid, like Girl Scouts. Still, she's running a Girl Scout troop next year. Our kids are in college. She's got 2 young kids in the troop, so she's like, "I got to keep running it."
Yeah.
But she loved being a mom, and I wonder. Just curiosity, and this is not the initial question I had, but like, I have major regret in how much time I spent working. I do. I missed out on a lot.
Yeah.
And you have a very different career path than I have. And probably in the perfect. Your career is the one everyone wants.
I think it's yours.
No, it's not. No. Working at Travel Channel for fucking 7 years. but like, do you have any regrets as a dad? Do you look back and go, fuck?
No,
maybe.
there's a couple moments that I miss that, like shows or stuff like that where it might hit me a little bit, but we were just, we were going so fast, and you had to make your career at the same time that they were, like, it wasn't really a choice, like you had to go and earn so these kids could go off to college and do all this stuff. So you had to balance it. We did a good job of balancing it. I really don't have, like, when the kids went to school and I would see these businessmen, and they were hustling too, and they were really successful. They were on the road just as much as we were. And when they came home, they had to go to work at 8 a.m. And we would come home and just be able to be there for a little bit, like in Monday through whatever, we were there in the house. So I think everybody sacrifices. I always thought it was a good lesson that they saw that we hustle and work hard. So I don't know. But, just now I would be like, oh man, I'm on the road so much. It might be good to dial it back a little bit. And then it's like, well, why? I'm going to hang out with Frank, my pug. You know what I mean? But you couldn't do that earlier. You just couldn't. You had to hustle. You had to hustle.
You had to hustle, and every day you didn't hustle, I always felt like I was failing my family.
Yeah, 100%.
I couldn't read a book. This is horrible, but I couldn't read Baby Beluga to the girls without thinking, why am I not working or writing a joke or writing a treatment?
Yeah.
I cut you off. You were going to say.
No, I have a feeling you're probably similar, though. When Tom was home, he was very present. Like,
yes.
I hope I was.
No, he was. That was the deal we actually made. We actually talked about it in the beginning because I was like, I'm cool to be here if when you're here, you're really plugged in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I can't have you pursue all these dreams and me put my dreams on the shelf. I'm happy to do that. If when you show up, you're plugged in.
Right.
Not for me, not to give me a break or anything. No. So that our kids have a relationship that's really rich and full and kind of complete. Because I agree with you. I've always said a banker doesn't do drop off and pick up on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
No.
They don't pick up at softball. They don't.
Yeah.
They don't have time.
Yeah.
So I felt like in some ways it was even better because when he was home, I always required that he take 1 week a month home.
Mm-hmm.
So as busy as he got, 1 full week, so they had like 10 days straight of dad.
Right.
And then the rest of the time he's out and about. And sometimes, you know, it would be like the first week and the last week of the month, so there'd be a long stretch.
Yeah.
But at least for those 10 days, and he's the person who cooks in the house.
Right.
I don't cook. Yeah, I don't like to cook. So I think we did a really good job of giving them the best we possibly could.
Yeah.
I personally don't have any regrets for his role or my role in my kid's life. I'm not saying we did it perfectly.
All right.
Was the travel portion of it, which was really your first like hit, but also you were gone more than as a comic.
Travel Channel?
Yeah. Was that the most difficult? I have notes
about that.
Was that the most difficult?
Yes.
Those shows can kill you.
No, what was difficult about that is that he was after a couple years, he started suffering from PTSD, and we didn't really know what was going on. And so,
on my Travel Channel show, I would do Adventures of a Lifetime for so we do 2 shows in 2 weeks, but you shoot every day and you shoot 3 episodes a day. So like I had a day where I jumped off Moses Mabhida Stadium, rappelled off Table Mountain, and swam with great white sharks all in like 10 hours.
Oh my God.
And so I would come home vibrating and that was everything. I mean, I was first person to jump off the stratosphere, fought a bear, all the wildest stuff you'd ever think. That's what I did, and for very minimal money when I look back, it's like
for 6 years.
For 6 years.
That was 6 years?
Yeah, 6 years.
Wow.
So about 2 years in, stuff started shifting, and I was like, I don't know what's happening here, but this is not Bert. Like, I don't know what's happening. And it took a little time. It got progressively worse to the point where I was like, this is negatively affecting my kids. Like, so what's happening here? And then finally,
I come home and go, we're going to Tom and Sandy's for dinner. And they go, in Georgia, this fucking child's a different human being. She go, actually, I'm not. I have homework to do. And I go, you don't tell me you have homework to do. We're going out. And she was like, Dad, we should stay home tonight. And I'd be like, you're fucking 12. When your dad's home, he tells you what to do. She was like, well, you go. I'm going to stay home. And I'd be like, I'd come out to LeeAnn, who the fuck is this child? And I was like, I was home. I wanted to live life. I wanted to celebrate. I wanted to be around people. I was just like,
it was a little more than that too. It was like,
It was also the pace that he was on.
That and saying things like,
let's not get into this. Let's not get into this.
I had a broken arm once.
Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
And was like, why were you not at the curb to greet me when I got home? And I'm like, well, our daughter broke her arm, so I was thinking I'd maybe go to the hospital. What the fuck? And I was like, okay.
I wasn't great.
Okay.
Are
Something's
there things you were saying to each other?
Did you know it? Did you feel it?
No.
You didn't know it.
You didn't know.
You were just.
I didn't know it.
But you knew it.
I knew it. I actually have been in therapy the whole time we've been in a relationship. So I was talking to my therapist about it. And at one point she said, this sounds like PTSD.
Wow.
So you need to figure out maybe how to talk to him about it. And I kept trying and couldn't really. And then the last straw.
Shut up. We're not getting into this.
The last straw.
We're not getting into this.
Was we went camping.
Baby, let's just leave it there. We went camping. We had a rough trip. Okay. I was addicted to OxyContin. Listen,
you were not addicted to OxyContin, but you were on Oxy because you fell off a waterfall and was talking out of his head. And he was at the house and I was at the lake and I was baiting the kid's hook. And he literally over the balcony leaned over and was like, finger, like, come here. I come up the hill and go in the room and he closes his door and he goes,
shut up.
He goes, how dare you bait that hook in front of me? That is so emasculating. How dare you do that?
It was a good time, guys. I had a great time with you guys. I got to spot at the store tonight. I got to get the fuck out of here.
And then he goes, I have clearly married the wrong person.
Oh, come on, man. Why would you even fucking bring... You know, I brought this up on podcasts of things I regret saying.
Yeah.
And I've never mentioned those exact words.
I think I married the wrong person.
Shut the fuck.
And I went, we've had a mental break.
Wow.
Okay. So shortly after that, when we got home.
She had made me quit Oxys that trip. on oxys and Valium. I was taking 4
because you fell and it was prescribed, and he just went out to space, and I was like, it's over. And I remember when he went on the road after we got back, and he called me and he said, I need to tell you something. And listen, whatever's going on for you is way above my pay grade, and you need to get some help, and because I can't handle this anymore. And he goes, okay, I'll take it. And I went, good, here's his phone number.
Wow.
Like, I already had it. Here it is.
Yeah. Well, in answer to your first question, no, I don't regret anything.
You never said to her, I think I married the wrong person? When he said that, I was like, you are having an out-of-body experience.
I had a short-lived travel show where I just went to bakeries and ate donuts. And I had no PTSD from that.
No.
What was
that was intense. That was an intense show.
I can't believe
it was crazy.
That was an intense time.
Were you terrified the whole time?
I was not. I'm not.
Things go wrong. I wasn't on terrified the whole time all the time.
But sometimes I would go, have they thought this through?
Yeah.
Sometimes I would do that. Sometimes I go, I'm not sure this has been thought through.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just always had a lot of faith.
Yeah.
It would be okay.
I would have mornings. I'm so grateful. Burr and Rogan were very pivotal in my transition, in that they caught me backstage one night saying something stupid about like celebrity shit, like fucking, I don't know, hair and makeup or some shit. And they both, those two are just like, the fuck did you say? And Joe's like, your TV show sucks. And I was like, really? And he goes, no one watches it. He was like, and Burr's like, your stand-up's so much better. And they were like, you need to focus on stand-up and podcasting.
Wow.
They're like, and then I remember Bill, so dry. He's like, what's your nut? I was like, what? And he goes, what's your nut? Like, what do you got to make a year? Tell me your number. We'll figure it out. Joe's like, oh, we can get you that in ad sales and podcasts. Just got to get your podcast numbers up. We'll help you. And that was the beginning of the end of that. For me to know that the community we're attached to, and it changed. And you both know how much it changed. The community changed in that, like, all the high tide raises all the boats.
Yeah.
And I started focusing on my podcast. Tommy was very pivotal in that.
Did the skies start to clear right away?
No,
he was in therapy.
No,
the thing with PTSD is you can't really clear it up by yourself.
What was the PTSD from?
Well, PTSD is caused by intensity without recovery. So he intensely experienced jumping off a stadium, swimming with sharks, day after day after day for like 10 days straight. And then he'd have 3 days off. He has flight anxiety. So his major anxiety to fly home. By the time he got home, by the time he started to unwind, he'd go back on the road again and do intensity. And so he had no recovery.
Oh, man.
And so because the stuff he was doing for Travel Channel made him feel like he was going to die, like 3 times a day, 10 days straight.
Jeez.
It's the same kind of intensity you have in domestic abuse or
and by the way, I don't want to take away anyone that has real PTSD.
It's a neurological.
I will tell you, there were more mornings than I can recount. I remember one distinctly in New Zealand where I was in a shower. I couldn't sleep. Woke up like 4 a.m, thought I'd shower, and I was in a shower in the fetal position, crying, going, I don't want to do this. I just don't want to. I had to jump off the world's tallest rope swing. It was like 435-foot free fall.
What? Jump off of it?
435?
Like bungee jump.
Pull up Fox Canyon. I want you to see what I had to do.
435?
435-foot free fall.
Into water?
No. On a rope that you just free fall. You free fall for 435. So you know, and by the way, I have to tell you this. If you're a kid listening, fucking definitely do these things. They're so fucking wild. I'm so glad I did them.
But just do one. Do one and then recover. Do one and then recover for a couple months.
Yes.
Fox Canyon, free fall.
He's also not wired for that.
New Zealand.
Right? Some people are like adrenaline junkies and I can't wait to jump off the whatever. He's not wired like that.
That's
the very
weird.
first
you would have to be to do it for 6 years.
When you see what I did,
not.
you'll lose.
This is how much he loved his family. He was
right.
I was doing this.
The sacrifices.
Had a TV show.
They're closed. So you would jump into this canyon and you'd free fall for legit 6 seconds.
Like bungee.
Oh, no. That's bungee. They have bungee as well.
What happens at the end when you land?
What happens is,
splat.
so the rope is tethered here.
Yeah.
And then you have a bunch of slack and you jump off and you free fall for like legit 6 seconds, and then it catches you at the end and swings you out. And I sat at a 5-star hotel in the fetal position. Just take a look at that jump. That's it.
Oh my God.
Oh, I've done a very mini version of this. Whoa. I can't even imagine at that height. That's insane.
No.
And I would do that.
It's stupid.
I would do that probably at least once a week. I would do this.
Day after day.
The one they did for us, I didn't do it, where they put you on a chair and lean you backwards. Oh, it's crazy. And that's it. Yeah. The chair of death.
Chair of death. Oh my God.
Tell the story about when you couldn't jump off the
why would you bring that up?
because it's related to what a good mom you are.
Why I'm not doing 6 years of this show?
No, because I think being a mom is what shifted it.
Oh, that happened to her. Tell the story. That's a great tether.
See, I know what I'm doing. I host things.
It's still so deeply embarrassing to me. Nobody would care.
They weren't there.
Well,
I know.
I care right now.
So we were in Costa Rica.
I'm already fucking nervous.
And there's a swimming hole where, you got to jump off the rocks.
To get there, you do the zip line to go through the forest and the whole thing. I'm the first one out on the zip line, flipping around. I don't have those fears. Right. Yeah. I'd go on any ride. I don't know if I would do the crazy things that you're talking about, but I never experienced that kind of fear. And then we got to this swimming hole thing where you had to jump off a waterfall into the swimming hole. And everyone.
And we're with families and kids are jumping and I even jump and people jump. And
my daughters, pew, pew.
Yeah, and they were little. They were like 10 or whatever. And then Cynthia gets to the edge. And she's about to jump, and she just sits. She just sits down.
It was my first, I think, panic attack I've ever had. I've never had a panic attack. I don't know what they're supposed to, but it has to have been that. And the other family we were with had hired this camera crew. And the guy, because my daughters were so disappointed because they knew me as Superwoman. I would do anything. Oh, mom will do it. Mom will do it. And they're going, Mom, come on. And I was shaking. I couldn't. I was frozen.
Wasn't that
And the
hot?
camera guy kept thinking, oh, I'll keep the camera on her because it's going to be really great when she finally does it. And so instead, there's this family video of a half an hour of me just having
shaking.
A complete shaking could not do it. And I kept saying, I will, because I couldn't believe that I wouldn't. And we finally had to leave, and I had to humiliatingly just walk down the way we came up instead of jumping off and being with everybody else. And I just when I think about it, I'm still embarrassed and
you were
horrified.
It really was who am I? What
it was. I had a whole crisis about because earlier I was surfing, I was doing and I
think it was being a mom. I think something kicks in you don't risk your life.
It happened to me too. It did the same thing. When we were dating, we went to Catalina. And there's a big rock that I jumped off to go into the ocean, and he wouldn't even do that. And I was like, oh, all day.
Yeah.
And then I became a mom, and I was like, nope. There was a rope swing at a lake, and I went, nope, I'm not doing that. And it made me question, who are you?
Yeah.
I jumped off bridges I jumped off anything into water.
Yeah.
And I was like, nope. It was something instinctual. I think.
Maternal.
Yeah. Something about it.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. And it did make me go, who am I? I don't recognize myself.
Okay, quick tether.
Yeah.
Feel free not to answer.
Okay.
But curious.
Okay.
So did that happen sexually with you guys as well?
Did it happen what?
Sexually.
Like I didn't jump
off of him into something? What was that?
Because
I'm not sure I'm following the line.
We were very young and wild when we were young.
Yeah.
And then when we had kids, LeeAnn kind of got into I say us, but kind of a safe place with sex, and we didn't do wild shit. We were just pretty meat and potatoes. And since I'm oversharing, and I apologize.
That's okay.
But since the girls have started to leave, we have gotten more curious and more fun. And I wonder if it's the mom gene where you start saying oh, I can try to figure out who I am again. I had to be this person for these people.
Yeah.
And you don't have to answer this, but I know that happened for us.
It did for me because I had a mom who was very, very sexy. And my parents divorced when I was 7, and she had lots of relationships and was very sexually focused.
Right.
And it embarrassed me so much. And I didn't consciously go, you know what, once I have kids, I'm shutting that shit down. But I think it happened a little bit because I needed to be mom first. And moms don't act like that.
Right.
Does that make sense? Like my mom dressed in like the lace up the side, no underwear, sheer shirt, and pick me up at school, and I'd be like, oh my God, horrified. She's not a sexual being. And she that's just what she was.
Right.
So I think part of me unplugged it a bit when the kids were younger so that they felt safe, because I felt very unsafe in that place with her. And then now that the girls are old enough that like, something happened and I just went, oh, fuck it. Let's go back to the way we were before, because that's actually, I think who we are now and who we were before we had kids is actually who I am.
Right. There is that
Does that make sense?
There is that, like all of a sudden the fog starts to clear of running this corporation of a family. And you're like, it really is like your friend comes through the fog and you're like, oh, hey, hey, holy shit. That was a weird 18 years.
I remember you.
Yeah, like, hey, we go out to dinner.
Hey, no bra, we're making biscuits.
Perfect.
She would put a bra on first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning, she put a bra on. You can catch her without a bra every now and then.
I think I was just really sensitive. I just didn't want my kids to feel anything I felt, right?
Yeah.
So my mom would literally clean the house completely naked.
Whoa.
Like vacuum the house, clean the house.
Did you have a big family?
It was just me, only child.
Wow, okay.
And divorced, and so it was me and her.
Bunch of foster kids.
No foster kids, it was just me.
Very happy foster kids.
Yeah, so I think I overcorrected maybe a bit.
Yeah.
I don't want to do any of that.
Yeah.
So they can it's just about being a kid.
Yeah.
You know?
And if anyone who's just listening to this and not able to see the video, LeeAnn is dressed like a whore right now.
Totally.
You have gotten sexier. Like, I don't think LeeAnn cared. I mean this respectfully, but I don't think she cared. She wasn't like, didn't dress up. I mean, she wouldn't even wear nice jewelry, really.
No.
When we had kids.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about this a lot. We had this friend of ours who, they were married and they had a bunch of kids, and there was boredom in the relationship, and he had an affair, and it was ludicrous. They had like a lot.
That's,
like
your friends with Ludacris?
It was ludicrous.
Chris Bridges?
But of course, like, this isn't the time to be worried about reading cool books and listening to cool music and hanging out late at night. And that's what he was attracted to and fooled around with on the side. But you're literally falling off of a bungee jump situation when you have 4 children. It's like, that has to be put on pause. We're not putting on we're not thinking about fishnets. We're thinking about how are we going to get these kids, medicine and put down the dog and all the rest of it. It's like,
so true.
It's insane.
I got a bit about that in my new special.
Putting down the dog.
Oh, it's not going well.
The bit's not going well?
The bit's going well, but I end up crying in it.
Oh, you do? I had one about putting down our cat. And
well, that's over for you now.
He's
already
long
done
one.
that.
I told you, anything I've ever thought about writing, he's already
Dog's
written.
funnier.
I hate watching your specials. You're just 5 steps ahead of everyone and so much fucking smarter.
Please.
What jokes are in the specials where you kind of as a comic go, hold on, that's definitely all me? Because majority of my specials are LeeAnn and Isla in Georgia. The majority of my specials is LeeAnn calling and going, yo, Isla's keeping her deodorant in the refrigerator. And I'm like, wait, what? And then she's like, fucking, I don't know. And I go, hold on. What do you mean? Her name's on the cap, on the base, as to not confuse it with all just literally like, I rip it and I take it and I put it on stage. I don't write at all. I just steal from my family.
You do change it sometimes.
I change it.
Because he'll say that it's happened to him, but it didn't happen to him.
Yes.
Right.
But it's,
But
change it.
Usually it's something that happened to someone else and then he says it happened to me.
Exactly. That's it.
Right.
Because it's funnier if it's the wife.
100%,
right?
yeah.
But do you listen to specials and go, so?
I don't know if it's that cut and dry because like you said, it might be a phrase I said or something I did or part of something I did or something I told, but then he creates something that's his own.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would say it that directly. I don't think it would be that direct. Where he'd be like, I wrote a bit and he took it. It's not like that.
You ever call up and go, this is a good one? Tom, you're never going to believe what just happened. Because that was
and say this would be a good bit.
No, immediately she would. I got a good Isla story for you. Immediately they go on stage. Immediately.
No, but I have said things and said, please don't make it a bit.
That's so funny.
I've done that also, and it doesn't work in my
house. No, it doesn't work.
You want to hear a good one?
Yeah.
You want to hear a good one?
Oh, boy.
This is a good
it doesn't
one.
work.
Here we go.
Since we're all telling secrets.
Are we all telling secrets, or is just this couch telling secrets? I think this is the only secret-telling couch. But go ahead.
LeeAnn farted during oral sex one time. And
who's receiving or receiving
I was
or giving?
Receiving. Who cares if she's giving? Fart all you want. I'm not going to smell it. Open a window.
Okay.
On my chin, Tom. On my chin. I actually did not think about it when it happened. I really kind of was like, I get it. We're married. It's cool, whatever. And she started crying. And
I'm so embarrassed.
I said, what are you crying about? She goes, this is going on stage. And immediately I went, oh, you're right. You almost shit in my mouth. This is going on stage. And it went on stage immediately.
And it went in a special.
Right.
I was like,
I have no boundaries. I don't have any boundaries.
Awesome.
Your boundary?
Do you say not? Yeah, my boundaries. Yeah, there's some real personal stuff, or like really with the kids. Like my boundaries were drugs. I didn't want to talk about drugs while they were in the age of like the dangerous age of do they start drugs. Yeah. I didn't want that to be a casual conversation.
That was a mistake on my part. Keep going.
Drugs was like the big thing. And then we were pretty private with them. Like I didn't want to, like I talked about daughters and stuff, but like we didn't want to put them on social media and stuff like that.
Very, very smart.
It definitely, no, I don't know if it's smart.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
People love seeing it.
Anonymity
smart.
is so precious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You can't.
No, I'm glad I wouldn't change that.
You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube.
Yeah.
Right. That's the thing.
We posted one thing of my daughter, like was behind me. I forget what the context was. It's like early Instagram and we never put them in, but she said something funny and we posted it and people just started making lewd sexual comments immediately.
Yeah, about our daughter. I was like, take it down, take it down, take it down. It was
like immediate. So we were like,
so we just took it down
we're not gonna.
That was a blessing.
Yeah.
It's a blessing.
That was really a gift.
Yeah, but you guys always handled it well, and Gaffigan, I think, did it well. Of like,
well, he's got too many kids
showing your
not in his post.
I know.
Guy's got fucking 9 kids.
I know.
It's fucking Jim Gaffigan. Let me tell you something. I can't believe he doesn't have a couple sister wives. That's how many kids he has. But like those kids. By the way, I'm. I'll tell you the flip side is I am endeared to him forever because of that family.
Well, that's the thing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I love the way you did it. I wish. I don't obviously I don't, no regrets. I did what I did, but like, I see Jim's family and it makes me want to live. Like it makes me want to enjoy life, you know?
Yeah. There is that thing of, you see somebody doing it well and they want to kind of lean in. I mean, all my stories are about them, but it's such a complicated social media world. And, you know, you have kids that are too into it and what would that have done to her? And, yeah, it was definitely true. Gaffigan's touring with his son now.
No way.
His son does stand up?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
His son, there was like posters of him and his son doing dates.
Wow.
How about that?
That's fun.
It was,
how much? I'm gonna book that kid to come over for me. I would love to have Kim Gaffigan's son to do stand up. Are you fucking kidding me?
Just putting the Gaffigan name on your poster.
Gaffigan's son. God damn it! I could move so many more.
That's hysterical.
I would love to hear I would love to hear our daughters are, as I'm sure yours are. When you grow up with parents like us,
yeah,
they're very quick.
Yeah.
My favorite thing ever. My favorite thing ever was when we ran into your family at CBK.
Yeah.
And you came over, you said hi, and it's total comic energy. It's what comics do. It's how they greet each other.
Yeah.
You come over, you say hi, you sit down, and we're all giggling. And Isla goes, "Who is he?" And I said, "Tom Papa." She goes, "How do you know him?" I said, "He's a comic." She goes, "He looks like a cop." but our kids are so fucking quick.
I remember that. Yeah,
our kids are so quick and funny.
Yeah,
because they're around us and our friends. Yeah. My daughters didn't know Joey Diaz was a comic.
No.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you think that living the life that we have has messed up our kids' idea of what they're supposed to do?
Ooh.
Like, what do you mean?
It's really fun to be with us.
We are pretty fantastic.
You mean like, so now they're not going to be
they're not going to go into
they're
not going to go into banking or whatever.
What a wonderful thing to show them that life can be, that you can live your life different ways and you can live artistically and have a wonderful life.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a gift.
I really wanted one of them to go into Wall Street.
But when we were kids, like a celebrity was intangible.
Mm-hmm.
Like the idea, like even as a child, the idea to meet Jerry Seinfeld was insane. You're never going to meet that guy. He's a celebrity.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and then, you know, for our kids, I mean, your kids probably actually know him, but like for our kids to meet those people and then be like, see them as people, maybe that's the gift. I don't know.
That's a gift as well. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's not.
I mean, it's all funny
I think
people.
it is. Why would it not be?
Because I don't know. Is there like none of us grew up knowing celebrities?
No.
Well, I think the difference is too, is that at least the four people in this room aren't celebrities in the sense of we're driving like insane cars and Lamborghinis or stupid stuff like that.
Just make
we're
good
very
money.
grounded people who the two of you or the three of you found an industry that you really were passionate about and became very successful in that, right?
Yeah.
Which could be any industry.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As people, if I looked at you, I could think, well, you could be a banker.
Or a cop.
Or a cop, exactly. But I think that's the difference is that you didn't get into it to be famous per se. You got into it to write jokes, to create an art. And so you could just as easily been, a craftsman.
There's an accessibility to like, this is going to sound weird.
Well, there are kids that grew up here, especially with celebrity parents who have a different experience of celebrity than kids who grew up with parents like the four of us.
Like we got regular kids.
Who's the monkey that lived in our neighborhood?
Who's the monkey?
Yeah, he was a famous monkey, like a chimpanzee.
What?
Mr. Jiggs.
Mr.
Jugs.
Mr. Jiggs.
Mr. Jiggs.
Yeah.
That was the only celebrity I met.
Yeah,
as a
and
kid.
it was literally a chimp. I thought you meant Monkeys, the singing group.
No,
he literally was a chimpanzee that would hang out on the front porch and smoke.
And he was on TV shows.
And
He'd come out in a suit. And every once in a while, if you got to see Mr. Jiggs, it was like seeing Seinfeld.
It really was. That's true. That was our
That's
Seinfeld.
crazy. Isn't that wild?
In
I remember,
Park Ridge.
like our celebrities at our age were like, do you remember Bozo the Clown?
Oh,
yes.
He was my first idol.
God, that was what traumatized me. But like,
yeah, I'm with you on that.
I don't like
he was your
clowns.
first idol. Oh,
Did you go ever do press in Chicago where you go to that that TV station where Bozo did all his broadcasts from? It's all Bozo stuff?
no,
Oh, really?
I would have had a panic attack.
yeah, no.
He's scared of clowns and balloons.
I'm scared of clowns too.
Yeah,
balloons.
He can't do
I'm not
balloons
scared of.
either. No
Balloons.
balloons.
Why balloons?
I had a hard time with the Steve Martin documentary. I was like, why is he around so many goddamn fucking balloons?
Balloon animals. That was his shtick at
balloons.
Knott's
Yeah,
Berry
on his
Farm.
head.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wait, what's wrong with balloons? I get clowns. You don't have to explain anything about clowns, but balloons?
I don't know. They're unpredictable.
They're unpredictable?
They
Why? Because they
smell
pop?
weird and they're unpredictable.
They do smell weird.
Yeah.
Huh. Like the latex smell.
Are you going to
I'm
write
sorry,
another
I
book,
just-
Tom?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
Do you
I really like it.
Right, you do.
Mm-hmm.
I read
really
that.
do.
It seems like you really like it.
Do you feel like you
Like
you
when you
enjoy
read.
writing a book more than doing stand up?
No. But I do love the process of it. Like I know a lot of comedians that write a book and they're like, I'll never do that again.
You're looking at one.
But yeah,
Fucking
right.
hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it, and I don't think it was worth my time.
Yeah.
And I just burned a bunch of stories I could have done in stand up,
Mhm.
and then
You could still do them in stand-up, though, can't you?
Yeah.
But having listened to LeeAnn read your book, I was like, God damn it!
Yeah.
I guess I'm not that good.
That's not true. Your book was
Give
very
Cynthia
funny.
your book.
Yes. That would be good revenge. I
There
could
you
just
go.
start laughing hysterically on an airplane. And then,
It's so bad.
How funny.
It's
Just
so
as
bad.
just there's nothing you love more than when you abuse your comedian friends. How great a video would it be if we're on an airplane and I'm like, just go from myself over to Cynthia and she's asleep with your book on her.
Perfect. That's perfect.
Someone did say that to me one time. They're like, I don't know, something about your writing, man. I open it, I go to straight to sleep. And I was like, I guess that's what I wanted.
People say that with my voice, with my specials. Like,
really?
Yeah, because I sign books at the end of my shows. And I've had a lot of people come up and
with
say,
your specials?
we fall asleep to your specials.
Is that good or bad?
I don't know.
It's good. It's good. I fall asleep to certain history podcasts.
Yeah.
And those guys, I'd hire them to just sleep in bed with me. I love to go to sleep to something. It's such a great fucking feeling.
Yeah.
So how and when did you start teaching?
I started teaching during the pandemic.
Not that long ago.
So not that long ago. And well, I mean, I had done, volunteer work and teaching. And, earlier in my career, I was a dancer and I used to choreograph for, sometimes for children, sometimes for, adults. And so teaching was sort of always in my, scope. But during the pandemic, a good friend of ours who had actually taught one of our daughters was saying how tricky it was going to be teaching online. And they were going to hire somebody. And I thought, oh, well, this could be amazing just to get me through the pandemic and we could work together and we'll make it actually kind of like teaching them on a podcast. Let's make it fun. We can joke around. We had a blast. We did everything we could to get these kids going. And then I found that I really loved it. And I didn't want to admit that I loved it. And I didn't. And to this day, I'm like, God, I feel like in some ways I should be doing bigger things. But I do. I love it. I love working with kids. I love having my little homeroom gang. I love watching their lives change and opening them up to new ideas. And it just, every day I come home with some kind of story.
Yeah.
To the point where I'm like, oh God, if I stop teaching, am I out of stories? Like I really just.
But she went back to school before it too.
Yeah, I did. So I'd never gotten my degree. I'd worked right out of high school and I never got my degree. So I went back to college as an adult.
Oh, yeah?
So I didn't finish until I graduated in 2020. I wanted to walk the graduation and have my daughters be so proud of me. And of course, it was all canceled.
Man.
And so was my daughter's high school graduation. And then, I started teaching right after that.
Mrs. Papa.
I heard that's
great.
A very natural. I just heard someone say this. I take in too much information, but doing stand-up and teaching, I think are very tethered. Holding an audience. I just spoke at Harvard and it was better than stand-up.
You did? You spoke at Harvard?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was that intimidating?
No, but they asked me to speak about marketing. I feel like that's what I know better than stand-up sometimes. And I listened to people before us and I was nervous at first going like, what do I talk about? Like, and then as I listened to people talk, I realized what they're interested in.
Right.
Like as a stand-up, I just went, I know where this goes.
Right.
And so it was like more natural than stand-up, to be done honest with you. And because I'm really fascinated by the things that kids are studying now. Like I had a friend at a head of marketing at Penn State. And I said, I would love to audit a class. And he said, buddy, the things we're learning right now are things that are from 5 years ago. We'll be talking about what you're doing and your friends in 5 years.
Wow.
So we have nothing to learn here.
Wow.
And so that kind of gave me a little confidence.
Wow.
But I would absolutely enjoy teaching a college class about something. It would be, I don't know if I could deal with kids.
I'd take that class.
Yeah, right. Be a good one.
Yeah.
Marketing.
Well, that's where I originally
100%.
thought I'd land. I was thinking of teaching at college level. So that's why it was so out of left field to go younger. But then, I think those kids got me through the pandemic. I mean, just the joy of kids not worrying about, the end of the planet. I couldn't go too young. I'm not a kindergarten teacher. I'm not that guy. But that sort of middle school age, I actually love. And, I don't know.
I want to catch kids right before they make all their mistakes.
Yeah.
Fifth grade's kind of perfect.
I actually, the same way you said the way you wanted a mother, I want to be the teacher that I would have loved to have.
Ooh.
So I try to make everything that I thought was boring fun. And I think I'm pretty successful at it.
Yeah, they love her.
I can't imagine how you would not be.
Yeah.
I mean, you're such a bright light, right?
Oh,
you're
nice.
a bright light and you're easy. You're like an easy.
Yeah. I don't treat them
person.
like I forget sometimes what age they are because I don't treat them like they're that age.
Like they're
LeeAnn
kids?
would be a
That's
rough teacher.
What? That Girl Scout troop leader for 13 years.
LeeAnn, no, you're
What's with the Girl Scout cookies?
What do you mean?
They're changing.
Yes.
What's up?
Are you talking about
New
Samoas?
baker.
Yeah.
New
It's
baker.
a new baker. That makes
New baker.
sense.
Baker, yeah.
Something's up and it ain't
For how
good.
long?
No, it
how
ain't
long ago
good.
did it change?
Like 2 years?
Yes.
New
That
baker.
makes sense.
You like a Samoa?
I'm not a fan.
Or I think
Not a
they're
fan.
called Islanders now or something.
Oh, did they
What?
change it?
What did they change it? Did they change the name to them, right?
No, they're Samoas.
There's still Samoa.
Islanders?
Well, because
I think that's worse somehow.
That's
no. Well, you know that's the whole thing is that
I know, but
for
like
real, it's like chocolate on the outside, covered in coconuts with brown on the inside. You're like, oh, it's a Samoa. Prince Edward named it. Keep going. Like, yeah, no, I think that was a racist name.
Wow.
I think so. But
They changed the
I
baker.
love Samoas, man.
Yeah, they're
They
so
changed
good.
the baker. Yeah, everything's really kind of waxy and flavor free.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
changed.
They've changed a lot in
I
the last
know.
13 years. A
Oh,
lot.
that's so
There's a lot of
unfortunate.
policies that have changed where I'm like, If it
Yeah.
weren't for the girls, I would have left.
Yeah.
A lot of required to sell cookies now, where in the past it was voluntary. Now a certain percentage of girls are required and they're required to sell a certain amount. And I'm
Oh.
like,
I don't
that's
like that.
shitty.
So you have these kids the whole way.
Kindergarten.
Wow.
Started in kindergarten and they're graduating. My good friend Sandy has a girl the same age as our youngest and a girl that's 2 years younger. And she was my co-leader with 3 leaders. So we had the Isla's age group, and then the little 4-year-old would sit there, watch us. And at one point she goes, "Are you guys going to be my Girl Scout troop leaders?"
Aw.
And we were like, "Oh, melt me." Of course. Of course. So we
Yeah.
started like 2 levels of
Yeah.
age. And years later, that mom and that daughter left.
Uh-huh.
And I still have all those girls that are 2
Wow.
years younger than my youngest
Right.
that are hardcore into it. So I can't leave them.
Can't.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Isla graduates, and now I have 2 more years of Girl Scouts
Right.
because I just ethically, morally, whatever,
Yeah.
I can't just be like, and it's over.
Right.
Which
Yeah.
is a
They're
great next
really
question.
into it.
Do you ever wish you had boys?
No.
I
Not-
just now
Yeah.
realized how great. Like I loved having girls, but like today, I was like, oh yeah, girls defined me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. No,
I
it's
talked
the
about
best.
this recently on a podcast. I think if our firstborn had been a boy,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been really problematic because I think he and the boy would have. It would have been the patriarchy times 1,000 in our house.
Yeah.
And then when a girl showed up or another boy showed up,
Yeah.
I don't think I would have been very happy.
Uh-huh.
I think I would have been really unhappy because I would have been like, "Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, don't listen to mom." There was enough of that going on with girls and
Yeah.
dad. Oh,
Yeah.
don't listen to mom. But if there'd been a boy, it would have been.
Yeah. I don't have any.
Always
I
out.
never had an inkling of like we have to keep going for a boy or try and get a boy. It was just, it was immediate. When I travel and I'll see young boys with their dad, like on the plane or whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, the boys can be sweet too. I just think girl all the time.
But you were
Yeah.
a sweet boy growing up, weren't you?
Yeah, I had 2 sisters.
Yeah, that's what
So I was kind of in
But
that.
you had a man dad.
You're very man.
Very
dad.
much so. Still,
Yeah.
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 he's covered in tattoos and motorcycle.
Do you know
and,
that about Tom?
That a little bit from the book, yeah,
Oh,
from
yeah.
some stories, yeah, that you had like a
How did he get you?
luck.
Like you're a sensitive
Good
dude.
luck.
You've always been
Oh,
like
his mom, Tom's mom, has the sense of humor and the
Yeah.
absolutely storyteller, all of it.
Yeah. I always had a running joke that with Nick DiPaolo that you're the son my dad should have had.
Nick DiPaolo just started smoking cigarettes. I think that is the funniest thing
He
in the
just
fucking
now
world.
did.
He's like at 55. He's like, what am I going to die?
It's pretty
Yeah,
great.
at some
DiPaolo.
point,
No, but
that's
Nick-
funny.
It is pretty
God,
great.
man, Nick DiPaolo is so goddamn fucking funny.
He is so
Oh
funny.
my!
He is so
quick,
fucking
So quick.
so
funny.
fast, lightning fast.
You guys ever, now you're empty nesters, think about moving out of LA?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Don't.
You're coming off a hot week.
Oh, really?
Uh-oh.
hot week. We went back to, she had spring break. So we went back to, and I had some gigs on the East Coast and our kids are there. And we got to visit our old life of living in New York City for.
I love New York.
For like for like a week.
New York City.
Mm-hmm.
And she, the whole time was like, this is what life is. We just had dinner. We just walked back. We saw a show.
I'm a different person.
We just this.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. I walk taller and faster, and I'm in awe all the time. It's my Emerald City. I love New York.
It just feels
right.
And
I love our life here, and I like it here, but I've never, ever felt like it was completely a fit.
Really?
No.
Why is that, you think?
I don't know. I think because I think I'm a city girl. I think I like that energy. And here you're in the car a lot. It's a much more, you're kind of alone in your car when you go from this place. It was really rough for me when we first moved here. Tom had a sitcom, and our oldest was a toddler, a baby, really.
2.
And the 1. First time she was even younger. And we came out, and being a new mom in a new city, and he was busy, and it was it was a really big adjustment. I really did not want to be here. I had such a great life in New York, and even just wheeling around your baby, and you were just out in life. And here I just felt so isolated. It took me a really long time to like LA, and I like it now, and I like it because our girls like it. Well, especially one of our daughters, but yeah, New York's always like right here.
If we didn't have the dogs, we'd probably go back to our old life, which is just split the time. Spend a couple months in New York.
That would be perfect. Have a little bit here, a little bit there. That would be great.
Do you think
old
about
are these dogs?
Not old enough.
Not old enough to make any plans.
They're young and they're healthy.
You could do that. Isn't that crazy? You could do that though. Like you do. The second you said that, and I heard you talk about my Emerald City, I went, "Oh, you are a New Yorker."
Yeah.
Like you really are. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I remember moving to New York being like, I bet this is nice if you're rich. Like, when you're poor, it was just such a hustle. And it was never, I ended up getting into a lot of shell games that I didn't want to get into.
What happened to those guys?
Man, they got me every time. Every time. Outside of Tower Records, I would get caught into a shell game.
Oh my God.
I was like, I got him this time.
Just don't look at them.
You don't see them anymore.
No,
Where did they go?
It's a lost art.
People got wise, I guess. Somebody got wise. I don't
do you think about it?
I don't.
No.
No, not right now.
Where would you live?
That's good. It's good to be said. I'm envious of that. We've had this New York LA debate for 25 years.
I wish I could say that. I feel the same way. I wish I could say, oh, for sure, I'll just be here. No.
I love it here, but I don't, the thing is, everywhere I think about going, I'd have to start over with friends.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do that.
That's tough.
And I don't want to.
We could buy a house next to Joe Rogan.
No,
it's a glass house.
A glass house?
Joe texts me about it all the time.
No.
And we could every day go into his backyard, use his polar plunge, use his sauna.
Nope.
Shoot a deer.
Nope.
I'm telling you.
No.
Check on the jerky.
Why is the house glass? Why does the glass? Yeah,
just so Joe could see.
So he can monitor our movements.
Yeah, so he can see.
I don't know.
He texts me. I won't say once a week. That's a lot, but I get texts from Joe about real estate in Austin all the time. Yeah, all the time.
Well, he wants to move everyone there if he possibly
think he
could,
does,
right?
But it would be cool. It would be cool to start again. That's what I liked what you said.
Yeah.
Is like.
No, I mean, Tom did it, right? I mean, Tom and Christina.
He's a tax evader. They're dead inside.
Well, he
they
also
have
has
no
real small
loyalty
kids.
to anyone.
No.
If it was Nazi Germany, he'd be like, "What team do you want me on?" That fucking cuck.
He also has small kids. It's easier to start over when he has small kids because what we did.
Right now is Roots on Tom. Now is Roots gonna.
He doesn't even. You know what? Like if I was Tommy, I'd be doing way more shit in that city. Like I might not do the road. Austin's a pretty cool fucking city.
Yeah.
He's got a great life, but he works a lot. And I now when we talk about regret, I think in my head, I go, I can't say this to him because I did it way worse. And he's doing things very different than I am. He's doing really great things. But I go, man, that's the fucking city to raise boys in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
2 boys, wild boys. I mean, his boys are fucking wild. Wild. I mean, they cage them in. They cage them in.
What do you mean they cage them in?
They put, the little dog gates?
Yeah.
They have 3.
So that they're high enough?
Because the boys fucking figured out how to unlock them and get themselves out. They have 3 like duct taped up. Those fucking children are wild. He's got his, whenever he's ready to talk about his children, that special is going to be fucking incredible. He said to me things privately that his children said where I go, don't say that on a podcast. Save that for your special.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane. But like, maybe my statement is, at this age, I don't want to move.
Yeah.
And I want to be LA. And maybe the younger age, we would have done that. Mm-hmm. But like now we're locked in.
And you got your community here. And
and like we just went to Nashville and I was like, no, what am I? I mean, it's a beautiful city, but I just have to start over. And I don't really want to start over. I even think about sometimes maybe we get a ranch in Montana or something, but I'll be in a house by myself.
Yeah.
Why would I do that?
In Montana.
Just in the middle of nowhere completely by
Think
yourself.
about that by day 5.
No. No.
If anything, I'd get rid of all our properties. All of them. I'd just live in a tour bus. That's it.
Really?
So I'm sorry. I know I don't know you that well. Nothing about what you say makes me think you're going to retire. Nothing about anything.
Way.
There's no way.
No. He has too much fun.
Listen.
I really.
Did you ever read the book?
No, he
What Makes Sammy Run?
He just wants a day off.
No.
So it's a silly book. You read it, Christina? About this kid who works at an agency. It's back in the 50s, and he runs from desk to desk, and all the kids around can't figure out what makes Sammy run. I got that thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
And I wish I could turn it off. I think as I talk to you guys, all I can think about is business ideas and bits I missed, and like I got my brain is fucked in that way, and I'm taking 9 months off. But
you're taking 9 months off the road.
Right.
We still have work in this house. It's not going to be off.
Yeah.
So when you say that, it's not accurate.
Yeah, but for a comic, that's a big thing.
It is a big thing, and I agree with you.
You feel like you're going to
But it's not like he's playing golf every day. He's coming here to podcast. He has Something's Burning.
But the road is
different.
Is the tickle.
Yeah.
Like the road. I just got to a place where we're there right now where we're promoting. I am promoting so many things.
Yeah.
So many things on my. I have so many plates spinning right now that it's a tad bit overwhelming, and I would love to see what it's like to disconnect and want, and to I want to sail to Hawaii. I want to do a bunch of big things. But you're right. I you've got me nailed. I don't think I would love living in a tour bus.
Nice observation.
Have you ever lived in a tour bus?
Not lived in a tour bus. No.
It is the greatest life.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends on the tour bus.
No.
I've seen some really bad tour buses where I'm like, I don't know how.
I'll tell you what. I never rent my tour bus out, ever.
Yeah.
I would give you guys my tour bus for a small run, like something fun, to like California, go do Santa Barbara, do like and have fun with it. You will never go back. It is the greatest fucking vibe.
We almost rented an RV once.
You were always against the RV.
I kind of thought it would be fun. I thought it would start to smell. Because
you were why we haven't.
It would start to smell?
No,
I was worried about it smelling.
From what? From the bathroom?
From the bathroom.
Well, you just can't poop in it.
Yeah.
Like you ride motorcycles.
I did.
When was the last time you rode a motorcycle?
20 years ago.
Bullshit. Closer than that.
Huh?
Closer than that, right?
No, I stopped once we had kids.
Really?
Yeah.
You haven't ridden a motorcycle in 20 years?
Like twice.
Okay. How great are motorcycles?
Motorcycles are great. I was just talking about this today. They're great. Amazing. But I think it's past. My vision's not super great. I just feel like my father's 79 and just got a new bike.
Really? What did he get?
BMW.
Really?
It's his fourth bike. He's got a Harley. He's got a BMW. He's got a VMAX.
It's a collection.
And another bike. I forget what the other one was. And he just loves it. And he's good at it.
But what's the thing maybe your dad's looking for? Like I look at Tommy and he collects Porsches. And at a certain point I go, how many Porsches is enough, right? Mm-hmm. And is it the collecting of the motorcycle that is the joy? Is it the big house?
Maybe for him. I can't speak for Tommy, but for my father, it's the riding.
Yeah.
It's freedom. He worked, he worked in corporate jobs and made a good living, but he was a biker. He wanted that thing. Like he always is pointing out as comics how lucky, like the freedom of that, the joy of that, the thing. And, getting on a bike and being free on the road, it's kind of close to what we experience. Very luckily in our work,
Yeah.
There's that thing. I love the bike. It was great. And we had great times on it, and it was really special.
Oh yeah. We went cross country when we first started dating.
Yeah.
Cross country. It was funny.
5 weeks.
We for 5 weeks on the motorcycle, and we had shows in LA. So I actually shipped clothes to a friend because we just had our bike clothes. So we could do the shows over at the Comedy Store in a couple places, and then shipped them back and wrote on. It was great.
That's how we knew we were going to get married. And we did 5 weeks on the road together.
Wow.
Yeah,
We'd only been. I got offered this gig. We'd only been dating since March, and we got a gig for August to host state fairs. It was a horrible offer. You had to drive the truck.
Oh my God.
And the routing was awful. It was like start in Buffalo, go to Phoenix. Then the next night was Rochester. And then you'd go to Chicago and then back to Florida. It was comical how bad. And you had to help put the stage together and then host the state fair and then get back. And I just made a joke like, we should just get on the motorcycle and go to all these places that they're offering just on our own.
Well, because you said no to the job and I said, I'll do it. And you're like, why? I said, because I've never seen the country. And then you were said,
Yeah, we're like, let's just go to all these places ourselves. And it was kind of a joke. We were like, all right, I'll do it. And she was like, all right, I'll do it. And then the month went by. So when are we leaving? August, right? Yeah, I guess August. And then we got on the bike and left.
It was great.
That's so cool.
And when we got back, when you travel with somebody, if it works, it works. And we're like, all right, I guess we should just get married.
Can you describe to LeeAnn how beautiful a motorcycle is? Because I want one.
Oh, well,
I want one. Don't no naysaying.
I'm saying in the mic, it's me.
The beauty of a motorcycle.
Taking understand.
An environment in a motorcycle. Just can you romanticize it? Let's go viral right now. Tom Papa, tell me what it feels like to ride a motorcycle.
You cut through places and the country in a way that you can't. It's closer to horseback than it is to flying. Like you literally, you don't realize when you're in a car that the temperature changes every 20 feet. Mm-hmm. The smells change every 20 feet. At a certain point, you're just one with this bike. You're just literally this one entity slicing through the environment. Mm. And it's beautiful. But if you fall, you die.
Yeah.
Why would you put that in there?
That's my problem.
Because that's the reason why we're not on a bike anymore. And why I don't want our girls to be on a bike.
That's why I veto the bike also.
Yeah. And by the way, doing the whole country, and we went up back through Canada, all of it, the worst place by far to ride a motorcycle was Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah.
By far.
Yeah.
So why would you want a bike in Los Angeles?
I saw a dude when we were young, married with kids. There was this kid on his motorcycle that cut down La Brea and got hit by a car at 6th Street. We lived on 6th Street. And he flew over the handlebars into the Chevron station.
Oh.
And I got out of the car to go help him. I had not ridden motorcycles at the time. And his response when he stood up was so perfect. He goes, "Are you fucking kidding me? I'm done, man. I'm done. This city fucking sucks." And like he complained to me like I had told him to buy the bike. And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "This is my 3rd accident in like 3 months. This is so fucking stupid, man."
Oh my God.
He's right.
And I was like, yeah, it's crazy that.
But in the right environments, it is special. And my advice, which my father would give you, would be just learn the right way. Don't just grab a bike because it's hot and go do it. Get with somebody, really learn from a veteran how to ride a bike and how to protect yourself, and then be smart about it. Like in LA, my friends who have bikes, I mean, Alonzo goes pretty regularly, but you bust out at 5:30 in the morning when no one's there, go through the canyons, have a beautiful ride.
That's what I'm talking
and you're
about.
Home you're home by like 8 before all the shit starts.
Type in Alonzo Bowden headshot real quick. So we were at Alonzo Bowden headshot. We were in Nashville the other day, and I said to Isla, "Do you remember Ralphie?" And Isla knew Ralphie growing up.
Yeah,
as like an uncle. She goes, "Oh, is he here?" And I went, "Oh, honey, he's dead."
Yeah.
And then she goes, "Wait, who else do I know?" And I said, "Do you remember Alonzo Bowden?" And she looked at this picture and goes, "The priest?" And I said, "No, he's not a priest. That's just the way they dressed back then." She has no recollection of anyone.
He's the best.
He is such a sweet guy. He says
that having a bike in LA, is like time travel.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he gets around LA the way we did during the pandemic. You know, like he can be in the beach in 20 minutes.
Right.
You know, but yeah, that's what I would say. I would say if you can learn it and you can be safe about it, but
5 a.m. on a Sunday.
Or how about help out LeeAnn and say no?
Nope.
Don't do it.
No.
Just no.
Shout out to Glendale Harley Davidson.
No.
You know, a nice convertible. You can kind of sense the environment.
Yeah, there you go.
Pretty nice.
Nope. I want a chopper.
I watched my uncle have like a wreck on a motorcycle when I was really small. I watched him roll down a mountain, like because we were camping, and he was following the van, and I was standing up in the back of the van watching him on the motorcycle, and he wrecked, and he went down the mountain, and then bike on him, and then the bike, and then him, and then him, and then we picked him up at the bottom. It did happen, and then they threw him in the back of the van with me and his 2 daughters, and drove him to the hospital, and he was all banged up, and everybody was hysterical, and he was fine, but watching that when I was 6, I was like, hard pass. Wave runner all day.
I like when you said you feel the temperatures change. I mean, let's go back to the
temperature.
fun part.
Did change because I'm a hard no on a motorcycle.
Yeah,
it was hard
rough.
to watch that.
I've monopolized this podcast.
Well,
what questions do you have that you'd like to ask? I'm so sorry. This is LeeAnn's podcast. What do you want to know about them, LeeAnn?
I feel
By
like
the way,
how
sexy is fucking making bread?
People seem to think it's pretty sexual. I'm finding
it's buddy. The holes in a sourdough bread. Holes in a sourdough bread define sexiness.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
get your mind out of the gutter.
Can you hang on?
Okay.
Here we go.
No, go ahead.
Well, once again, we're going viral.
Yes.
Oh my
Explain to me the mastery that goes into making sourdough bread. And like you did motorcycles.
It's the starter.
What is
right?
Go ahead, LeeAnn. You started.
Well, I don't know how to make sourdough bread. I've made it a few times from a really old starter, but I let my starter die. Israel.
I can get you starter.
Well, I don't have the time to maintain my starter.
LeeAnn, those are your shortcomings as a wife. Tom, go ahead.
You don't have to do too much. It's the best. I don't know why I got so addicted to it, but I started several years before the pandemic. And the process of it, it's very natural. I think living in LA is part of it. I think it's you almost like it's set up for you to enjoy nature, but you can't in a way. Like maybe you can squeeze a hike out or something, but there's something very earthy about it. There's something very tangible about it, and you get to eat it.
And it's delicious.
It's sourdough bread. Keep getting better at it. It's a lot like stand up in a way. It's humbling. Like as good as you can get at it, you also fail, and it's very. I don't know. It's very rewarding.
I feel like for you, it's kind of a meditation too. The whole process of it. To me, I look at it. It's like having a pet. I mean, you have to feed it. You have to keep it alive. Then you have to. You do it so regularly, but for a lot of people, they're not going to want to make that amount of bread all the time.
Yeah.
So then it becomes, something bigger.
It's not a chore for sure. It's
for you.
Yeah.
It was a chore for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine died. Mine died because I literally went, oh shit.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at that thing in forever, and it was dead.
And it's sharing. There is definitely that thing. Like when I came to you all during the pandemic. To drop bread off. I was just craving all of you. I wanted to be with comics and we couldn't. And to be able to like make something that I knew you could enjoy, and then I would just drive alone on the freeway to your house or to Allie's house or whoever and drop bread off. It's a love letter in a way.
And people love it. I'm a baker. If I came over to your house with a bunch of cupcakes, say, or something, you go, oh God, no, I can't, no more. But bread, everybody goes, oh, yes. Yes.
That's true.
Yeah. I don't stop. I have like just big things of flour, like big 50 50-pound bags of flour come to the house. And yeah, it's kind of insane. I want to move into like dark breads now, into like the Germanic breads, pumpernickels.
Oh, I love pumpernickel.
All that stuff.
God.
That's my next.
Pumpernickel's my favorite.
What's your algorithm? What's your algorithm look like?
On Instagram? Yeah. A lot of bakers.
Yeah, right.
A lot of bakers. A lot of people flipping dough. A lot of bakeries.
You ever see the guys go, I'm going to make a fucking cheeseburger sourdough. And they start shoving shit inside it. Yeah. I watch that. And then, there's one guy I follow. I don't know. I wish I knew who I followed. But I'll tell you, you can edit this out. But there's, I don't know if this fucking makes sense. But we're just talking. Nah, never mind.
What?
I get really obsessed with people on Instagram who live in like efficiencies, and they live in efficiencies and they share their meals. It's really kind of sexy, and like their meals aren't high end,
right?
They're very macro. But for whatever that does, the same thing about watching someone make bread.
Yeah,
to watch someone like get through life is the same. Like I'm drinking Black Velvet, which is a whiskey. I'm drinking Black Velvet with a Mountain Dew Crush and two, like there's something weird about watching people live.
I get that.
That I am so obsessed with it. There's this one young lady that lives in Nashville that I almost had come out to your show, Cat Paws. And
her name is Cat Paws?
Her name is, or on Instagram.
Why do I know Cat Paws? I know that.
Pull up Cat Paws with a K.
I know Cat Paws somehow, and I don't remember why.
I find this to be Cat Paws as in PASS.
PAWS?
Right?
No, Cat Paws.
PASS is pass.
Cat whatever.
Pause, like
PAWS. I'm sorry. Cat Paws Instagram. I fucking love this chick. You're not going to find it this way. I'm sorry.
I follow this maritime Instagram. It's
Don't
all
get me
boats.
started on maritime.
It's all boats. Maritime. It's just boats and like giant sea vessels and stuff. And I don't know if someone's hacked it or something, but every like once a week now, they show a girl taking her clothes off.
Oh, okay, I'm in.
And all the comments are like, no, thank you. What are you guys doing to us? We're here for the boats. And there's like a girl like in a supermarket showing her vagina.
That's funny. What are you doing?
Hacked. This was just about
You're never
boats.
going to find her on Instagram. You're never going to find her. I'm one of her 1,000 followers.
Oh, really?
Why
do you love
What
Cat
does she
Paws?
do? What is Cat Paws? What's so special about Cat Paws?
Can I celebrate her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I celebrate her.
Yeah.
She's from Wisconsin, I think. I don't know anything about her, but I deep dive someone and I love to get into the details
Gotcha.
of her. She's from Wisconsin. She reminds me a lot of Nerd Forest.
Jackie
Cation. She is an attractive young lady. She lives in a deficiency and she works a night watch. She's a night watch guard. She gets off around like 5 a.m. and she makes herself something to eat and something to drink. And she shows those meals. And I don't know.
Is that crazy?
I take it back. I don't know Cat Paws.
I
definitely don't know Cat Paws.
And her cat, then because of the paw, I was waiting for something.
There's so much about her. You found her?
She makes meals.
Did you find her? Did you find her? I love this woman so much.
Is this comforting or disturbing?
I don't know. Is that her?
No, it's not Cat Paws.
Oh, well, that looks more like your maritime.
So hold on. Can I just...
making a burger on a paper plate.
On a bagel?
Yeah, so what she'll do is she'll show you how much she spent. She had a broken foot. Don't scroll up. Don't see her broken foot. She had a broken foot.
Does she know you follow her?
She does not know who I am. but that's her receipt. She'll go through what she bought at Walmart and show you what she bought at Walmart, and then show you her efficiency. She got new shoes. She doesn't eat great. I would love to like upgrade.
A lot of ramen.
How did you find this? Is what I want to know. This seems like
super random, right?
Yeah, this seems.
This has not come across
Cup
my
noodles
feed.
breakfast.
Oh, look, there's the Mountain Dew Crush.
My God.
I think.
But I don't know. There's something about her that I find very honest.
There's her cat.
There's the cat.
Does she ever show herself?
She does. She does. Go to her efficiency. I'm sorry. Go up to the top in the dead center. She shows you her efficiency.
She has 1,000 followers.
You know, it's so funny.
She has carpet.
She's carpet.
That's not carpet. That's not
Excellent.
carpet. That's not carpet. That's outside.
That's
her
not
efficiency.
carpet?
No. And I want you to be respectful when you look at her life. I'm being serious.
Are you kidding?
I love her. I love her. I love her.
3 trailers.
Yeah, you do.
I getcha.
So she's telling you what an efficiency is different than a 1-bedroom or a studio.
An efficiency doesn't usually have a full kitchen.
Well, she'll tell you that.
That's why she's doing the ramen.
And so this is her efficiency. She lives here. That's where all her food is. That's her bathroom. This is where all her cooking stuff is. There's multiple cats.
Yeah.
And
she's just showing you every inch of her life
with no ego. With no ego. She's letting you know who she is. And I love it. I love it so much. I find this so sexy that like I go, this is who I'd be. It's definitely who I'd be.
Just simple.
Right.
Yeah. And
so back
go
to
her
the
meals.
question.
Go to her meals. Hang on, scroll. I know you're looking at your watch. I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so
making
sorry.
mac and cheese.
So like she spends a lot on these bagels. I'm bothered by how much she's spending on the actual everything bagels.
I feel like I'm diving into someone's ASMR.
A little bit.
Right.
It's ASMR for like reality.
Yeah.
I also feel like I'm invading a little bit, though.
No,
like
but
it almost
she
feels
shows
so
up.
personal.
She's
I know she does, but I don't know.
She's inviting you in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it goes back to the question you asked, what do you really need?
What do you really need? So I look at Cat Paws and I follow her. I know every morning I check on Cat Paws.
Yeah.
And I go, she's happy.
Mm-hmm.
She's happy.
Yeah.
What am I trying to get to? Cat Paws is happy. And
I think you're trying to get to her apartment.
I think
efficiency.
By the way, I swear to God, I've always been hesitant to bring her up, and I've been following her for a while because I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah.
I don't want to fuck it up.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want
I don't want people to start blowing up her spot and going like, but I think it's like
she's mine.
It's really honest.
Yeah.
Well, you're celebrating her honesty and her simplicity of life. Sort of works for her.
She got. I'm so sorry, Cat Paws, if I'm sharing this and you're not comfortable with this. She got 4 bags of chips that were out of date, right? And she was excited, and I got excited. They were out of date, and you could see they were blown up. They were like full, like you could tell something's wrong with them. And she was like, I got these. They're out of date, but I think they're still good. And I was like, yeah, they're good. They're good. Like in my bed, I'm going, they're good. They're good.
Okay.
Well, I think this is very brave of you, as we're sitting here like 2 married couples, and then to share your affair with us. I think it's very honest. It says a lot about your relationship.
Can I tell you? I watched her. She did a live stream on her walkabout for.
Oh my God!
Is this the first time you're hearing of this?
Yes,
in the snow in Nashville. It's snowing out, and I got so excited. She goes, "It's snow." Cat Paws came up. I was like, "Oh, she's streaming live," and I hit it. She's like, "It's snowing out," and I was like, "Where are you?" And this sounds so creepy. I didn't know where she lived. I thought she lived in Wisconsin. I could tell her accent was Wisconsin, and I was like, "Where is she?" And then I was like, I Googled where it was snowing, and I was like, wait, she's in Nashville?
Okay, now I'm a little freaked out. Now I'm a little concerned. And with that, thank you guys for coming today.
And yes, I will be going with Bert on the road all his dates.
That'd be amazing. And please come back another time so I can ask you the questions I had prepared for today. I really love this. Actually, podcast. I loved us all being together.
Nice hang.
It was awesome. But I do have like a laundry list of things I actually
You
want to ask
do?
you. So next time. 6 months from now, 12 months from now.
Okay. Do you want to get one in before we go?
No.
You're okay?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
Good. It was so fun though.
It was
like
fun.
we should go to dinner.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's just go to dinner.
Yeah,
you and I should hang out when they're on the road.
I agree.
That was cool. Like when we were all at that party when Bert was on the road, and I was home on an unusual weekend and got to see them hanging, like see the people hanging when we're not there.
It was a holiday party. It was Rachel Hollis's holiday party, and Sandy, my friend Sandy, the Chinese woman that was with me.
Yeah.
She's the one that ditched me in the Girl Scouts. She was my other Girl Scout leader, but she is a huge fan of yours. Of all the people she's met with us, she was like, Tom Papa.
Oh, I remember that. They took a picture that night
she had
and everything. That's right.
Yeah. Her husband was just here dropping off sandwiches.
Yeah, he was just here.
But it was cool to like just see them hanging. Like I was like, oh, this is nice not being on the road. Like I was thinking of you wherever you were, of course, having a great time doing a show, but it's nice to just be at a holiday party.
Right.
And eat some dip. And
I would have loved to have been.
It was a good party. We had a good time.
Nice.
It was really nice chatting with you too that night.
Yeah.
It was funny though. I remember years ago I had said, I want to try to just invite a whole bunch of like comics wives over.
Right.
Like I just want to get to know everybody and I'm just curious what their experience is and whatever. Not to say, obviously we have female comic friends and all the rest of it, but I was specifically interested in the wives of guys who were on the road.
Yeah.
And you told me that was a horrible idea.
Oh, I love this idea.
I did?
Yeah, I would go.
I don't know why you thought it was a horrible idea.
I love this idea.
I think I don't know. I think you thought it was going to turn into a bitch session or what. I don't know.
I don't remember that.
She did a podcast with them, and I was like, I would love to hear them talk to athletes' wives. There's a tethering to like the struggle that we may have of like we can't go to sleep, we can't think about it, we got to stop, this thing.
Larger than life personality, super high achieving, really focused.
Is so fascinating for me.
Yeah.
So it was cool to talk to those two NFL players' wives because their experience I think, is very similar.
Right.
To mine.
Yeah.
Husband's on the road, husband has a season, very focused on what he needs to do to get his shit done. And, it was pretty interesting. But I have to wrap up actually because I am chairman of our school's silent auction, and I have people coming to our house in 4 minutes to wrap
let's
back.
get the hell out of here.
So, I have
let's just
to
drink a couple drinks with us.
This is so nice.
Hey, I just want to say this. I'm going to say this specifically to Tom. It is such a joy to watch my wife laugh at something genuinely. Your book did that to her. It's so cool. It's our business. It's our gold standard is laughter. It's our thing we love more than anything, and to watch her laugh at it, and especially a guy I love.
You're the best.
I look up to you guys. I know that we're not that far off in age, but like the way you've done your life has been so fucking cool.
It was very cool.
Really
thanks,
cool.
Guys.
Really cool. And you've done it right. You really did it right.
Well, right back at you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I can't wait to read backwards, to read the other two books.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That are before this. I love your book.
Thank you.
Like I said, I just don't want to finish it.
Yeah, that's great.
I read it before I go to bed at night because I want to be happy when I go to sleep.
That's great.
Right? It's been really awesome.
All right.
To read.
I'll send the other two books your way.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Enjoy
Thank
the
you.
bread. Let me know how the bread
Thank
came
you.
out.
I'll be eating it with butter in a fucking second.
No, you won't because I'm taking it home with me. You have to come home with me to eat it. It's my bread. He brought it to me.
That's true. I'm glad you were here.
Yeah, right.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Oh.